Truth seekers. All right, it's Friday. And I know we haven't been here on a Friday in a while, but the last 2 days has been incredibly excited. And I have a few announcements that I'm going to make for about 3 or 4 minutes or 5 minutes into what we're doing and talk about a lot of things that we're going to be going. And like I said today, I'm going to first start out and say that I am beautiful and I'm a great guy. And so are you, beautiful and a great person. So I'm speaking in the behalf of your sexes, male, females. And this is how we roll. But also to understand being blessed and also understand being divine spirit of what we're doing and how things are just transpired over the last several days. Now, this conversation tonight is about, is Jesus, did he means reptilians, or when he said be wise as a serpent? Now I'm going to talk about it because we're just going to have a regular conversation, but I'm also going to bring in a couple of things of where we are, what we're doing, how we're going to be moving forward in the future, as well as the knowledge that we need to obtain, especially at the time that we are here now. So I'll first make sure I get into the conversation because, of course, it's there on the thumbnails and pretty much. And some people should be getting this alert because I don't know. I haven't been on Fridays in months. And so they're probably like, oh, whoa. So hopefully people will get the alert later that we were here. But in the meantime, for those you are here, you're going to be blessed on a few things that you're getting ready to hear, as well as our conversation. And so tonight, I will hope that you are in the mood of being part of this conversation with the chat so that you can put in some information, some feedback as I'm sitting here talking to this camera and pretending that I see your face. But I will start the conversation out and say, I love you as always. And you should know that by now. And I will prove some more things to you as we go further that I do. So first of all, when we start thinking about growing up, and when I grew up in the household, my mother definitely, the Bible was the cornerstone of the home. Stories, pictures on a wall with, of course, Jesus, and with the halo or just whatever, of course, blonde, blue eyes, and that ain't even the story, right? We're not worrying about that. The other part was this. There was also things that were forbidding to look, talk about, or even think about. And then there was conversations that were said that people were referred to. So, for example, if she wanted to let us know somebody was an evil or they did something or couldn't be trusted, it was a friend or any of my friends to come that I hadn't had yet, she would also be careful of the snake in the grass. These people, are snakes, they'll bite you and all these things. So I grew up as a young boy, understanding that the metaphor or the symbolism of the snake is just anyone who is not up to par or will do something bad or somebody stick you in the back, right? Or all these things. Now, of course, as I got into church and got into more of the doctrines that mother was teaching me, then you get into the point of Adam, Eve, the serpent, he was the swindler. He was the things that, really, truly, or he got Eve to bite the apple, and then all of a sudden this hellacious life started, and where we are today, supposedly, or where I was. And then these are things that I grew up with. These are the stories. I don't know about you. I don't know if you grew up in that type of environment or if that was the connotation or the symbolism of the snake as it evolves, and that stuck with me throughout my adult life. And I've been around a long time, 25 times 2 plus 5, if you want to do the math. And so it wasn't until most recently of years when not only after becoming a UFO investigator, I decided to, go into the reptilian thing, and of course, that was on the surface level of shape-shiftings or whatever you want to call it. Those things exist and those people were out there. So I ended up doing this. Well, of course, beyond that, as I started going deeper and looking up different layers, it led me into other areas of information, which we'll discuss tonight a little bit, which is kind of parlaying into the title of the video. Did Jesus mean reptilians when he said, be wise as a serpent? So we will literally go into that term. And like I said, within about 5 or 6 minutes, give a few more people to hop in here because, like I said, they're not going to get the notices because YouTube like he ain't been on here on Friday. So you got to make sure that it'll send people notices that watch. But over time, some people may get it after we hang up. Also, we used to do Freaky Fridays and be here for hours and just really have fun. But I got a new fun for things that let me make sure I put the word new fun, and then I'm gonna put the word that I'm not saying out loud so that we can go into those conversations. It's just something we will prep people for. Things that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. There's a lot of links in the description of this video. So if you're watching me for the first time, there is our what I call our text number where you can get on and get all of our updates. I think some of the things I'm going to show you today that you might want to get on those text lists, especially if you're here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area as we go down that particular journey of information. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about why, and this is my story from my perspective, why I always have thought that the serpent, I'm using the word snake serpent imagery, was a bad thing. It was just totally bad. You didn't hear me say Satan. You didn't hear me say satanic. I said the imagery of symbolism of the serpent. Although everywhere in my life, there was depictions of this that you can see, be seen, or however you want to look at it. And you can decide for yourself, when I say the caduceus, the metal, so look up those things and then you ask that question. But once again, we're going to go more of the religion route. There was a scripture and I found it, and I'll kind of read it right now so that you can kind of see where we're going with this. It was something to the fact. Now let me see where it was read. I know I screenshot it real quick, and it's just kind of paramount to what we're going to talk about. So it was in Matthew 10:16. It says, you know what? Somebody used to always say that you are a minister because you got the beard or whatever. I don't have them, and let me not do that because then you'd be thinking of mockery. But I was getting speaking a tone, and the Lord said, but then people will think I'm being mockery, and I probably would be. So therefore, I'm not going to do that. So when Jesus said, "Be wise as a serpent and innocent as doves," Matthew 10:16, he was advising his disciples to be shrewd, discerning, cautious in their dealings with the world, especially as they faced hostility and persecution. The serpent symbolizes wisdom and ability to navigate difficult situations through thoughtfully. And at the same time, Jesus emphasized maintaining purity, integrity, and innocence like the dove. Now, I'm saying this because he needed to tell them that although that they was probably docile, and this is what I'm interpreting myself, and you can correct that, was that there is a side that is needed. There is a side that you need to begin the process to draw from. Now, we probably today use the word superpowers. You hear that metaphorically all over the internet today. Superpowers, your superpowers. All right, so we're going to talk about snake powers tonight, okay? But the whole point I'm getting at is that there is another layer of you that is inside of us that is something that I think needs to not only be talked about, but to recognize and also accessed, okay? When I say that, the word access is one of the things. Now, how does that cross our vision of what I consider now the conspiracy and conscious convergence community? That's my new term. Me and Brother Yosef was talking about that today because I think there's a parallel in the new journeys to make sure we do this. Conspiracy and consciousness convergence community. That's the mission now. That's the mission. Not only as I've always been saying, but that also is going to begin to bridge the connecting dots, so to speak, when it gets down to this. So let's go over here in the middle, though. We're going to use the word religion in the middle and conspiracy and community over here. So let's just do that virtually. The religion is that part where we hear and we think and not on fear, control, or whatever it is. Well, why? Why? If anything, if we are listening to the word and the word of God or Jesus the Son, why would he say, "Be wise as a serpent"? Now he says this. But now I'm taught as I'm blah, 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 that this is one of the most evil things on the planet, or the imagery, or somebody is a snake, or we refer to them as negative, however it is. Now, yet, once again, in Matthew 12, which is the word is what he said. So you can go from there. So I would dare for anybody want to say Roderick, blah, blah, blah. All right. Then go back to the word. That's what you want to do. You should do. I think that'll be up to you. But he advising his disciples to be shrewd. Let's use that word. Now, if I was being shrewd to somebody, they're going to say he's conniving, he's this. And if you were, they're going to say that negative thing about you. He also says, be discerning, as though their wisdom or the people who know how to swindle people can sense swindling, okay? Or something like that, so to speak, and cautious in the dealings in the world. So, but he said, be wise as a serpent. All right. Now, when we go to some aspects, the conscious community, we go to symbolism, the kundalini and things over here. And then when we over here in the conspiracy world, then we can go into the Illuminatis and all these people that are using these images. And so there's this parallel, but it's not a parallel, a paradox to be here to there. There is a frequency of something that is not right, or maybe two things can be right at the same time, and it's just how you interpret them. So when I started looking more into the reptilian agenda, and then start finding out that, okay, we got the Anunnaki, you can go all the way back to Enki, Enlil, the gene pool. Oh, we now begin to okay, wait a minute, reptilian, snakes, and that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. It wasn't enough because all of a sudden, when I started looking at all of the ancient civilizations before religion, before Christianity, before Jesus said, be wise as a serpent, before, and innocent as doves in Matthew. Okay, so I don't depict the exact year that Jesus became that or when he said it. But what I do know, he said it because he knew something, right? He's maybe all knowing, seeing, believe, whatever, but he knew something. Now, in order for him to know something, he had to see something, been something, or whatever. But then you go all the way back premortal times before religion, and every people on this planet that was walking and breathing the source of this earth, they all at some point had some type of serpent imagery worship type thing, because whatever it was coming from the sky. It had wings and all this stuff. So we talking about the Enki and the Anunnaki, even it says they were shining. And where I'm going with this, even from my personal journey, is that, okay, we now have a lot of different aspects of this thing here. We have the Illuminati occults that are using serpent knowledge, and we say that's bad, but but think about that occult knowledge is meaning just hidden. So I just throw that into your mix. Then you got religion saying, do not look that way, the serpent, blah, blah, blah. Consciousness is saying, oh yeah, there is this kundalini, there's all of this stuff and rejuvenation and manifest your new life and take off the old you and put on the new you. And it's like, wait a minute, who do you want to believe, or why should you believe it? And that becomes the riddle, and said, all right. And it's why I turned around and said, wait a minute, did Jesus mean reptilians? And all right, no, Roderick, we ain't talking about the reptilian is a snake, right? Or the depiction of that. Now, Body Lecture said the Nagas. Yeah, we with that. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm sitting here going, that is something. Now, someone said, I haven't read it, but I'm going to read it out loud together, and said, super wild that any books of any religion continues for much time, make one think about we were the wheat among the field, and we, okay. So, all right. So now I guess they are, I don't know if that's title where we at, and someone said, remember, Satan is a title and not a person. Okay, cool. We're good with that. All right. So where I'm going with this is that you have to then begin to wonder the truth of all of this. Okay. So let me boil it down into this. So when I started going down the reptilian path, And then knowing that there is an existence of them right here ruling our planet, knowing that they have their bloodlines and the giants and the Nephilims and the whatever, knowing that we have reptilian DNA, knowing that you and me actually have a reptilian brain. That reptilian brain somehow, if not known, functions to be shrewd, it's discerning, it's cautious, it's all of these negative things, but however, Jesus said, be wise as that serpent. Is the serpent wise? Is he calling the serpent wise? Is he calling the snake knowledge that we were told to be away from something worth knowing? Science, to know, to be a part of that. That will be a question. That was a question that I had for quite some time. And the journey continued to take me further down the rabbit hole. And then as I went further down the rabbit hole, I began once again going to ancient civilizations, ancient cultures, Egyptians, Mesopotamia, Babylonia. The list goes on and on. All of these ancient cultures began to depict something that I was told to don't look at, don't get it. But if I opened the door, it was knowledge looking at that. Why was that? Why? And I remember Jordan Maxwell said, Roderick, not to me, but I took it personally. He said, they have us praying in the wrong direction. He didn't say not to pray. He said that we're just praying in the wrong direction. Okay, now, let me do something pulled to the side here. We know the Vatican, the Pope. Most people revere Pope as one of the most sanctified persons on the planet, the most revered and worship and all that. The Pope himself, right? We know it exists. The Catholic Pope at the Vatican, the head and the head and tail of a lot of things. But they have a snake hall. They worship the serpent, and they don't do it in a omniscious way. They do it in plain sight. Because whatever the deity of information, and most deities I would assume wants to be worshipped, and they don't want to be worshipped in silence. They pissed. Oh, I want the world to know I exist. You know, they got egos. Okay. So whatever it is. Now, are they doing this metaphorically, or is it some type of demonic entity that this serpent is? Or once again, they have the core truth of the information of the Bible, and they can say, be wise as a serpent, and we're going to be wise as a serpent, and we're going to build a serpent hall, and we're going to build all of our riches and wealth around the knowledge of being wise as a serpent. Side break. This is where it gets a little different. This is where your religion's teaching began to malfunction. It did mine. This is where you can't go tell somebody about that you want to go study something about a snake, and now you're evil, because we've been brought up to think that that is a no-go. But yet, powerful, successful, maybe conscious people have all said there's a divine simulation, not simulation, but something symbolic in this situation. There's something there that could help you be more divine. Now, I want you to focus not on the fact of snake, but for the fact of hitting knowledge, because without knowledge, what they say, whatever happens, I'm not a preacher, but I heard something happen to you if you have lack of that stuff that I do know. Y'all follow me, right? And so now that leads us all into all of this wonder and whatever, because now I'm giving you my personal journey, but I start getting better at this. I became an expert at ufology. I became a sought after person being on different TV shows. I became featured on Ancient Aliens, one of the biggest channels. I became a influence of some of this stuff on Clubhouse and growing a place from 30 to 40,000 people in YouTube in 126 countries. And at the end of the day, I still was lost on a truth of this snake thing, right? So, all right, over here, there are some reptilian shapeshifters. Okay, I'm gonna call that surface level. And then I can start talking about these archons and all of a sudden this holographic world that we in is somebody's manipulating our consciousness. And then you go down a rabbit hole, you begin to understand that there's energy that I possess, being the light and the most beautiful person that I am, but someone wants to draw my light and energy, and they may call it loosh to them, and that loosh is valuable. They live off of it. It's the substance for them. And they said, we need to get it. The only way we can get it, though, when he turns the volume down on that light. See, because when he's operating in high vibration vibe, we can't get it. It's too hot, or it's too bright, it's too much. But when we do it, but let's introduce anxiety in his life. It'll bring it down a notch. Let's introduce, bills. And you got to remember, every time you bought something new, like a car or something, you telling everybody on Facebook, oh, I've been blessed, I'm blessed with this. Now, when do the blessings turn to bills? In about 2 months, 3 months, maybe 4. Okay. Maybe. So the blessing becomes the bills, and it turns down a notch. Or, maybe you in some bad experiences at job or work, it turns down another notch. And it gets turned down maybe because the banking system, social media, life, murder, things that are happening on the news, constant barrage of mental breakdowns of stuff. And it turns that brightness down to just a little bit enough where they can now start to eat it. And why would they do that? Well, we still on that journey because it's loose. That's their form of energy. However, Jesus says, be wise as that serpent. He didn't say, you know what, you're going to be one, because he's saying that experience or whatever is a teachable moment, and you can take the knowledge in whatever that is. So then we start thinking about it as in dark places, and all of a sudden it becomes the word shadow. And we hear that, okay? So I done took you from a little bit of conspiracy over here, a little bit of religion of serpent over here, a little conscious of Kundalini over here, a little stuff with the Vatican over there, and now it's your energy. Now we got reptilians. Now we got serpent worshiping. Now we have, do we not believe that there's something here that could have been some snake-like stuff? Because now not just everybody's got it integrated in the conversation, but some people are using source of it. Do we not believe that it's a possibility that there's reptilian beings that our DNA could have been tampered with? And that all of our ancestors and everybody before us and before Jesus was all talking about there are some beings that look like some lizards and dragons that was commanding and whatever they want to call them of this world? Do we not want to go back to when it came into the conversation of Jesus that they said there were some angels with wings or whatever they were thrown down here? I don't know that part deeply, but I'm suspicious. I'm curious, and I want to know. And I think it's something you should know. You get what I'm saying? So how do we do? What are we talking about here? What do we got to contest when someone wants to tell us that you're nuts, that you're crazy, or whatever, because you want to talk about some reptilian, Roderick, or whatever? Really? You're a reptilian. There's people today, right now, and just been born about 5 minutes ago. I don't know who they are, but they got a tail. The parents just walked in the room and it was handed their baby and they got a tail, a lizard reptilian tail. And they're asking, where did this come from? As though it was some abomination, as though it was the father smoked too much crack, like it's some disease versus a confession. Versus a confession. It's a disease. There's people born what they call the veil, the old folks would say, which is skin, lizard skin. All right. There are men on this call, the men that are watching me right, and women ain't got nothing to do with you, what's getting ready to come out my mouth next. And if it does, so help you. You're special. You're very special. What's coming out next, if it does equate to you, you're special. I ain't saying nothing wrong with you. You're just special. But most of us men, many of us, somebody was told that shedding the skin brings in the new you from wherever you came and is symbolic, more of a spiritual ritual. And when I was getting in this earth, barely breathing, barely around, somebody decided to go down there and mess with my little red rocket and trim some stuff off because I'm shedding the skin like the serpent and I'm now renewed. And didn't even think about the pain, didn't think about it just because it was teeny weeny that it wouldn't hurt. And I think it did. I just know it did. Just thinking about it now, I'm cringing. So who knows? I'm cringing because it probably hurt. And I cried. Yeah, why? Because they went down there and whatever. Okay, they got a name for it, circumcision. Okay, if you didn't know what I'm talking about. But the religious, not religious, but ancient culture said to do the men that way because it was the rebirth, the regeneration of the skin that the serpent does that brings him into the new world, and he's renewed the shedding of the skin. Ouch. They believed it enough to do it. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's necessary today, right? Or I don't know. I mean, if you don't have it done, okay, fine. You whatever. I don't know the experience that way, but some of you probably seen it that way. Am I alone with this? Am I alone right now with this? Somebody help me. Somebody just say you with me. Am I alone with this or not? Let me look over in the chat. Come on, somebody tell me that I'm not freaking alone with what I'm saying about that part. Men. Someone said I went to school who was born with a tail. They had it removed, but he still had enough. You get what I'm saying. And so why is that? Why is it that you and me, lizard, when this earth was here, it was a water planet and still 73% water. In fact, just like the lizard, we're born in an embryonic sac, fluids. You can breathe underwater. And just like anything else, we're not a desert lizard, we're a water lizard because we can't stay too far away from water. None of you can. Because that's how the lizards were. The DNA. All right. Let me take a little turn. Okay, we go back to the Anunnaki. We'll go back to the Watchers. We'll go back to the stories of the shiny ones. We can go back to the Cain and Abel or Marduk or whatever, when one of them killed his brother and the other one killed him because he activated the reptilian side of him and he killed the other one. Or I think it was Enki, God, one of them said, I'm going to choose the sun. He didn't want to choose Enki because I think he would have been too aggressive, and he didn't want to choose Enlil because he would have been too submissive, but he chose the agreeable son of one of them who was reptilian from Eve because he needed him to rule the reptilians. Now, did he come here or somewhere else? Now, the word is the word. It says it. Now, once again, it bags us back up to something else. It bags us up back to something else. Now we get back into the shadows. We get back to the conspiracies. We get back to everything else. And my question is, did Jesus mean reptilians when he said, be wise as a serpent? So let me make the big announcement for those of you who just hopped in here, okay? And I have to do that with a story. So as y'all know that we were, we've been on a journey from building our communities, our events, and different things that we've been doing. All right. And that journey has taken us from one spot to another as we outgrow this, different things. And along the way, there was things that I felt that we needed as a group, but of course it would have all stemmed back on me, especially doing these presentations. Remember, I was asking people, I need us, let's get us a projector. We need microphones because some of these people need speakers. And we're talking about now the knowledge beyond reality events, but even for us to continue to do what we were doing. I started asking people, I started offering, hey, if you want to do a $300 donation, which I will at some point give you access golden access at a discounted rate to all what is coming in. And some people, maybe not. I also had some lovely people that stepped up, and I want to tell them, if they're watching tonight, I love you, and I still love all of you anyway, but I love y'all too, and that we have arrived, and I'll say that next. And it was cost of some of you that have done this. And then for those of you who maybe you didn't show up to all the events, I love you too, because through what you also couldn't do, also I learned things that I needed to do. So it was all a growing process. But I'm excited to tell you how far we've grown and what we're growing into right now. But again, for those who have gave the donation, you're going to have a fabulous year. And tonight I'm going to close it out regardless. I don't even need it now for what I'm about to show you. Maybe one thing that I do. And so maybe one last person, whatever, that's fine. But if you don't worry about it. I did what I now am comfortable to do what I was supposed to do. I was led to do what I was supposed to do. Sometimes I felt that I was asking too much. Maybe I didn't get enough. Maybe do I need to be more responsible? Maybe stand up as a man and you hold this and you carry all this water by yourself. But I didn't have to, because I got some great people. We got some great people in our organization and with us. We really do. You know who you are, and you are some great freaking people. And I'm not talking about just the givers. I'm talking about all of you who in mind, body, and spirit that said, hey, let's do what we're doing. Okay. That's where the currency is. It's the energy exchange. That's where it is. So having said that, I ended up, as you know, we was at the La Quinta, we was at whatever, but over the last 2 days, I'm in heavy negotiations. And thanks to Chicago, Red, one of our members, he said, I'm tired of people dogging us out. His wife gets involved who don't come to our stuff. It's a family thing. We're tired of people. We're going to find some stuff. I had a few people stop at the office. Hey, I'm going to help you out. I had other calls and we're talking about, the TKs, the Empress of the world, all these other people. We're now rallying, of course, y'all know Maya, we rallying and saying, and I have Lonnie down, y'all meet her. I'm like, we're going to put this thing together. Now, I'm carrying a lot of burden because at some moments, I'm like, should I do this? All right. We have our community stuff because it wasn't costing anything. And then we have now these paid events. And there's a disconnect because some people can't afford some of the things that was going on. It's like I didn't know. And, every now and then somebody mentioned, but I knew. But I did try to test the system. And I was, okay, we're going to let people register for the last one to kind of get people clicking a little bit. And y'all heard me. I was so disappointed, and I'm wrong for that. I shouldn't have been disappointed because some people didn't show. I shouldn't have been disappointed because it cost me $3 or $4 extra $100, and I was depending just because they was going to come. Because I was going to present to some to say, hey, this is what we needed to get. And because there was a lack of people there, I felt that I did not reach the goal, what we needed as a group to obtain the donations to buy what we needed. But my heart was all in it. And I may say something about it or whatever, it's like, okay, y'all, whatever. But I forgive anyone, and I want anyone to forgive me. You couldn't come, you just didn't come, and you didn't even have to show anyway. Who cares? You took the time to put your name in there, and therefore you did what you wanted to do. And I can't blame you for it. I can only thank you for it because you didn't even have to do that. But because of that, we turned this into an event. So I'm going to show you how doing the right thing with the right people and for the right reasons turns itself out. Because unbeknownst to me struggling, and I'm trying to find locations, and then I'm still in my mind saying, we still got to do our community because some people still need the knowledge. They may not have the money, Roderick, but they still need it. And I have a heart. You still can do what you're going to do. So I said, well, let me figure out how to make this work. All right. And lo and behold, I walk into a opportunity, a place, a thing in the middle of their chaos. They was in a chaotic situation because, they lost some people, changes, and I walk in. Now, anyone would have walked in a situation like that would have went out the door because they wasn't organized. And I had a 9 o'clock appointment, and then they had meetings. And how dare you gonna schedule a meeting? And I'm here, and I can't even get my questions answered. But they was nice. They had to follow their bosses, and it was very difficult. And then all of a sudden, something came over me, and I said, I have a surgery because I had surgery Thursday, and I was like, my surgery's at 2:20. But I'm going to be here till 1 o'clock. I don't care. So I'm going to let these people walk out of their meetings. They're going to still see me sitting there because I got to get this done. And something spirit is like, just sit there and you wait. I'm patient, but I'm determined because I have not just me is hungry. I got people that are hungry. And then I already know what's going on. I know more than what some of you know because I'm still connected with my clearance of stuff and understand what's happening out here in the government and the conspiracy, things that I don't say out in the open, but I can hint and tell you, prepare, be ready, stay ready, be open-minded. Your mind, remember, your eyes is useless when your mind is blind, okay? And if I just didn't give you another hint, be vigilant. If you ain't want to listen and be prepared, don't do it. I realize I don't have to carry the burden for somebody who don't want to know more than what they know. I don't have to carry, I'm not Mother Teresa. I went through this weekend, y'all. And if they don't want it, if they don't see value in what you're doing and what they never had access to, they can get it. And if they die on the van and they don't want the information, maybe if it's not affordable, I get that. And they can do whatever they can because people find a way to do what they do just as much as I'm going to reveal to you. But it's tenacity. But then there's also people who are going to learn what we're going to teach and they're going to have more. That's where I'm at. So we got to make sure they learn and have more. So I ended up, I'm going to show a couple of videos and show you some things, and then we'll talk about some stuff. So first up is I had to get to this place, and I had to get an office. They said, you got to, I have a studio office. I don't need it. But to be members, to have access, you need an office. So in this room, you can rent a space as a member. So you have your own office and cubicle. And right here, that's where we would be to do that. So just think of. Now, I ain't probably never go in there during the week to work. I have my own office, but that was a price to pay. So it costs. Maybe some people who helping us, and when we hire people, because I already got places for them to work. But it's symbolically going to stay where it is because it means so a lot, just where it is. But what it gave us access to as a member, you get certain amount of hours, and here's another one of the rooms you can rent like a little desk too. But I went into Kubo, so I did go up a notch. But I did get the office that you're going to see on the end right, here. So if you guys, there's offices here and everything else. So this is where we are, and we will do that. We're probably moving. Okay, so that is, they have these little $200 spaces that you can rent, and now you have a place of business, or you can pay a membership and come up, and they have these ghost offices you can just sit, and then you saw the bigger office around. So it's like a whole community of networking people. But what else they had was something that we needed, starting with this particular room. Let me see if I have it. So this room is for the bigger, no, they have this too. So we have a lot of space here for smaller meetings. If anyone you want to come up and share your experience, you'll be able to do that. And we can do this. It's a great place for. So now what you've seen, we have to have our little office to be a member. You see that and what I showed you right there with those conference rooms, they got 10 of these things. So you can just use them. So now you got smaller places. Then we step up to this particular place. And here is kind of a rooms. As you can see, this is where we'll do our group. Look at this. So we have access to this for our community get together when we don't do the large events. So we'll be in here, just let everybody know. And we got our dates coming up. So we'll be doing twice a month here and then the big. All right, so now you see there's a room that, now we took all those seats out and put a what they call a theater style that'll hold about 60 people. So that's more than people that was coming to our thing. And that comes with the office rental side. So that's still a fee. I'm not telling you how much it is because you don't care, but that comes with it. So that allows me on my dime to have some free events that people still can come. I'm going to pay for it. I don't care. You don't have to have a dime. There's people in our groups that give, and they give for you, and they give for me. They give for all of us. Those people exist. There's no more me. We separate the weed of that. But there's people who come if you want to come, and if you don't put your name on there and don't come, don't come. But I got something planned for that though. But for those of you who are thirsty and you want it, you're getting ready to get it. Because we also have this. Now, I got to pay for this big money because it's separate from their event, their stuff. But this is what we also get. All right, everyone. This is where we're going to be doing our events. Let me just open the door here so you all can see the space with a stage. A couple of hundred people can be in here. State of the art screen projectors. Remember, we was trying to get help for that, but look at that. So we have everything we need. We have stages. This particular room will be where we will host the bigger events. And so we're gonna be doing that right here. So once again, this is our new home for all our speakers when they come in. A couple of hundred people can be here, but we're gonna limit it, as you know. So just kind of look and see where we're gonna be there. Now, you hear what I said. I spent a week. I was disappointed in my heart because a lot of people didn't show up, and I figured if enough did, we would have raised the money to buy the new projectors and stuff that we needed for the other place so that we can host what we did. I didn't know. I went into prayer and I said, but I'm going to do this. And like I said, there are a couple of people who helped. There are some people who did. I'm not talking about them because they believed in what we was talking about. But it didn't. It just didn't. And when you're trying to do something for the many and everything, and you got to be here as a man asking them to support it, it was tearing on my ego. And I'll explain that serpent stuff in a minute, but it was. But because I was doing the right thing and my heart was where it was and everything, and obviously the cosmos knew our people who was with us and who ain't with us, it wasn't going to let us fall that way. And I walk into this place. Not only I was trying to get a 1,600 projector to shine on a big room, they got one that's $5,000. And it comes where we can access it. Because even when we was paying the money for the other places, you still had to bring your own stuff. You still had to go hire an audio visual company. And if anybody know we've been playing in this event, y'all know it's been scratching my hair because to get it started. Now, once they were going, I wouldn't have needed any help because there were some profit there. But how do you get it off the ground? How do you offer things to people to help to do? And like I said, we got some lovely people here. We really do. And it was difficult. So I'm telling you this because what I'm about to say next and what we're about to do and everything else, I'm going to separate myself from some of these situations and folks, because there's no longer need to be accessing what we're doing. I am a good person. I'm not here trying to do, but I got some people that love me, that's on our side, and I'm going to pour into you all like it ain't nothing. And I'm going to give you some world. We're going to do something you never seen before, and we're going to be protected. We're going to do whatever. And those takers, they can take, they can do. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear none of the whatever. When you say you bless me with your words, you love me, I hope you mean it, because I mean it, and I hope you mean it. Because I need people that mean what they say and do what they mean or say what they mean or however it works. So now I say this to say we got the best of both worlds. Now, real quickly, I'm going to play you a clips of people that are coming to our Knowledge Beyond events, okay? And give you some dates of what's happening. But I'm just going to pay a few things. Okay, So let me start with, y'all already know who this person is.
The problem that we're facing right now is when it comes to religious beliefs and spirituality is that God is unobtainable, that God is unreachable. And the only way to get to God is through a middleman or a middle spiritual figure or through death. And people need to begin to understand that God is everywhere as God said it was everywhere. In all religious texts, in all spiritual writings and teachings, God inhabits every single thing everywhere at all times. That's omnipotence and omniscience. And so if God is inhabiting everything everywhere all at once, that means every atom in my body is inhabited by the divine. The problem that...
Now, did you learn something in that 45 seconds? Did you know 45 seconds of here and there? They're down in California with $600 tickets right now. And a lot of people can't even, I'm not saying, but the blessed people are there. And I wish I was too. They're there and they flew into LA, one of the most expensive places. But because of the resilience, the non-quittal, the sleepless nights, the whatever I've been through and whatever you've been through with me, that same person that's down there now that people are paying is going to be here in Dallas because I made the phone call. And they're coming twice, January 9th to 20th. And they're coming on the, I think he's coming in April. I got the dates. I told him we need to do 2. He said, okay, I'll be there. And I said, you know what? I'm no longer trying to fill the room up. I'm going to limit it. And he said, okay, whatever you want to do. Because I don't think people deserve to just have access to come if they don't even want to. Well, what difference does it make? What difference do they complain of what we're trying to accomplish as a group, as a community? Because the power that we had together and through me, through you, I can make a phone call that some people can't go travel to Miami. They're not coming to Atlanta. These people don't come to Dallas. They don't do that. But we're going to put Dallas on the map. Now we got the facility. Now we got the face. And now we're going to do it. So yeah, that's fine. We're good for that. Let me show you another one.
You're born looking like your parents, but you die looking like your decisions. You're born looking like your parents, but you will die looking like your decisions. Isn't that some deep stuff? That is some deep stuff because it's so true. You're born looking like your parents, which means that you're taking your family karma, but you can change your family karma based on your decisions. When you die, when people leave this planet, you can see it on their face sometimes. They had a hard life, or sometimes you can see them at peace. Some people are at peace when they pass away. Some people are stuck in a state of fear when they pass away. We're all born looking like our parents, but we all will die one day looking like the decisions we made.
People, me and him's doing a thing together. These people are my phone. These are my friends. These are people I have access to here. We talk among ourselves because there's a different world when we got all these people that listen and talk. Nobody calls and check on us. Yo, we get a lot of good texts here, but I'm talking when Thanksgiving come this year, like the last 4 years, I didn't never get one phone call. And I stayed at home, me and my mother, or I came. And anybody who knew me the day after Thanksgiving, what'd you do? I was up here at the office watching TV. Nobody says, Roderick, what are you doing? They always say, I would have invited you if had I known, but if you didn't call and check on me, you would have never known that. I would have came to your house. Shit, yeah. I mean, if you got some chitlins and shit, I'm not coming. But you get what I'm saying. Okay, so these people are coming. Let me show you another one. Let me give you another one. Let's keep going with this right now.
Having a blocked throat chakra also blocks the set of opportunities that could expand you into a higher financial income. This looks like blocking a raise, blocking a promotion, blocking clients, repelling sales, all because you are not embodying the version of you who expresses themselves authentically, speaks powerfully, communicates their value confidently. All of those characteristics are associated with the version of you who can hold more money. Because the way that this money is going to come, it's going to come through a series and set of opportunities where money will just be the byproduct of the confidence you show up in. So if you're struggling to expand in a career or expand your business, take a look at your throat chakra and you'll figure out that this is why you're repelling money.
All right. So that's my friend. I picked up the phone. I said, "Can you come and support with something? I have an idea." She said, when do you want me to be there?" I said, "Well, blah, blah, blah." So now she's coming in May. It's on a schedule. Aaron is coming. And if you ever talk with her, the girl is powerful. Okay. All right. So she's coming. Now, once again, these are people a lot of people wouldn't have access to. They're not going over here. They're not doing that. Somehow I was able to consolidate. Let me finish, though. I still got some you may know, you may not know. This one here is he's coming in December.
Blow up your ball with your desires. What do you desire? What are you crystallizing? What would you like to attract? You got to tell yourself inside, every cell, every part of you, the friendly bacteria, everything in your body, and let go of all the things that are outside of this ball, outside of your attention. Are you ready? Yes. So what we're going to do, we're going to let it go wild. You can spin and throw it everywhere. Come on.
Now, he said people cry, they let out emotion, they get rid of some pain. He said this thing is so immersive that it's divine. I said, you got to do it here in Dallas. And we're going to be doing that in less than 1 month, December the 20th at that big old place. Now we got enough room for you to walk around and do this. He's coming here. Yeah, it's going to cost that man. It cost me to take him away from his business. It cost me to get him on a plane. It cost me to put him in a hotel, the Uber, the security, the facility, the food, to get him here to change somebody else's life. I get it every day on the phone. I don't have to call them. I don't even have to, we friends. They pour into me for free at the same time. Okay, I'm blessed with that. But to extend that out, we got to work as a collective, but they're coming without you. Whether you show up or not, they're going to be here. Whether you get this every month in Dallas, month after month after month. All right. And then I ain't even brought the UFO alien people here. They coming. And I got some people you seeing on TV. They're coming. And then I called my friend. She's going to be here. So my birthday is March the 14th. Aaron was going to come that time, but so I called Yaya. And just so happened, I pick up a video she was just talking about the other day. You know, I always talk about the serpent stuff. And so here's Yaya.
Eve found the serpent more trustworthy than God, not because of his credentials, but because the serpent said what Eve wanted to hear. A lot of people going to read this and interpret it exactly how they want to, just as I did. I know I'm here to give you the esoteric breakdown. Eve didn't trust the serpent more than she trusts God because of rebellion. Eve trusted the serpent because it spoke to the parts of her that was going to make her remember. Serpent was never evil. It was activation. Serpent spoke to the divine curiosity within Eve. Spoke to the parts of her that knew there was more to experience and way more to learn, more to awaken to. People hear serpent, they instantly think about deception. But what it truly means esoterically is wisdom, rebirth, transformation. Think about it like this. It sheds old skin so that it can grow. Teaches you what happens when you outgrow an older version of yourself. Eve's interaction with the serpent was not about disobedience. It was about activation, initiation. She was never being tempted to fall. She was being invited to expand.
Now, I could let that play on. And for some reason, I start going down the path and learning, wait a minute, Roderick, this serpent stuff is a little different. It's something about this. This is something that we got to look into because somehow they're making us afraid of. They want us to stay away from it. So now they're going to be in that big room. And what I decided, and it's going to happen so that we don't lose our community of people who I know will come out and get some things. Now I'm going all in. So now it worked out. I have those events. Brother Joseph and I is going to be virtual. Okay. We're going to be virtual on the 22nd. We're going to talk about symbolism. However, I also on the dime, because this costs a little extra because we'll be there. We're going to have this room. Let me play it again. Hang on. And here is kind of a rooms. As you can see, this is where we'll do our group. Look at this. So Right. So that room, on the day that me and Brother Joseph goes virtual for people all over, because he got audience all over and people who can't make it, we're going to be in there and I'm going to have him on the screen. We'll have a mic. We can talk to you guys. So we're still going to do our thing. Now, here's the deal. Yeah, the thing is tickets because I've got to do whatever. I don't know right there. I want you to know that I'm going to try to figure, I'm just like, y'all just show up. But when you look at my face and you walk in that room to get that knowledge and all of that stuff, because I'm still arranging and you got other people paying virtually, paying for it can happen for you. You have an opportunity if you want to donate something or not, but if you don't worry about it. But no, I'm putting it on your heart to know, because I had to go back and say, you got to stay true to your building a community. Stay true. So that's going to happen that way. Because also it's Mercury retrograde and he ain't traveling in it and I ain't moving around either. I didn't think about it that day. So people ain't moving around. So we plan a day on Mercury retrograde. We're not traveling. But it's going to be there. I may say $5 or $10, something, but it costs. It's not, even if you walk in there and you heard it was free and I didn't say a word, don't you think it was free? Some people suffered. Some people studied for 25 hours of their years of their life. Some people flying in. Some people got places. They're training stuff for you to hear that you might say, oh, you charging free. Live the life that you want. That's all I'm saying. And I'm agitated about it because I do get information. I do get feedback. I do get whatever. I'm just saying I love you all. And it's not negative. So I'm not talking about nobody directly. But I'm saying I do feel your spirits. You know, that was it. And I probably talked to one person, and she my friend, she knows, and she probably said, hey, somebody couldn't make it because of the storm. I'm like, I get that, no problem. And that was nothing. That ain't it. But I do understand the other stuff. Okay? I do understand the other stuff. And I'm saying to you that I'm going to make it arrange so that if you can't do this. Now, I can't do anything about when Billy and them come, but here's also what's getting ready to happen. So I've now booked it and stuff still cost us. So every month, we're still going to do our group settings. So December the 13th, the week before Doc get there, we're going to be in that big ass room as a collective, because you know where we are now? We're in the heart of Dallas. There are 6 different conscious places around. There's the mall thing that we're in, but we're renting that thing. There's businesses that all know. I'm meeting with all of them so they can start promoting and do and get a piece. They're going to take your space. They're going to take a space that 2 weeks ago I gave out discount coupons to everybody can get there damn near free, and they didn't come to get it. And some people didn't even want to answer to it. I was trying to be loyal. This was 2 weeks prior or whatever. And then some people I talked to privately and said, hey, if you help out, you can do this. Because I didn't know what to do. But I did what's going to bless some people. And I was going to. And they wasn't there to get it. Okay, that's fine. It's solved. So anyway, all I'm saying is this. So the 13th, we're going to be there. And now it's going to fill up. There's going to be people, because there's where I'm going to have other people who wants to speak and get into the game, maybe 15 minutes to say something and teach. So I was hoping that the people who was in our inner circle, and we do got a good ones, that now you get ready to flourish because we're going to put you on the stage of it. But there's going to be some outsiders coming now. And Lord, they're going to take a spot that was yours. They're going to take a place that was meant for you to grow and get and everything else. Because why? I don't know. But I can't lose sleep and cry anymore because you didn't want it. I can't say you drink it and you don't want to. Now, I got to figure something out for our people who don't live here. So I'm going to try to figure out something where y'all can watch it or something. I got you. I just hadn't got there yet. Now, that's going to cost me to get some camera crews and all that. But I'm not going to leave you behind. Even if we record it, I'm going to put it somewhere, somewhere else. I don't know how. I just know we're going to do it. So December the 13th, before Doc get here that week, we're going to have a group. And you better believe when the word start getting out, other people's going to come and they're going to buy the tickets that you didn't want. That's going to happen. And then when Billy come on at 20th, I think, let me put up the date here. Billy's coming on the 20th and he is, let's see. Let me pull up the schedule. All right. So Doc B is going to do that immersive experience. Brother Joseph and I, he's going to be virtual, but we will be in the room November the 22nd. We're going to do that from like 3 to 6 or whatever, because I got to move it to the time. Doc B will be here on the 20th. And don't forget, we're doing private dinners where when the event is over, the ones who maybe come to the main event was cool. They're going to get the knowledge, and then we're going to move them out. And then we have bands for the people. And we're going to bring in private dinner, and they can sit around in this King Arthur fashion that we're going to be doing and talking and love. And we'll make sure we got security. They'll make sure everybody else leave, or we'll have another private location that we'll move over to a few hours later. And that's going to be divine. So, Billy's going to be here on the 19th. So the week before that, I think is the 24th. So the 19th, we're going to have another one of our conspiracy and conscious convergence community. So we're going to be doing that. Okay. So I'm going to keep both sides going because I want to make sure everybody is getting take care. So you're going to get knowledge on both sides. Okay. Pacific knowledge when they come, group knowledge as we come. I hope that's fair enough for you. Same thing when King Simon comes in February. We'll be here, I think the 6th, we'll be there in that location, either that big room. If we use the bigger room, if you find us in the bigger room because they had an overflow, because anybody can get the little one, that's costing. But I ain't going to tell you that. Don't worry about it. You just know. I want you to know when you walk in there and that there's 30 of us in a room that holds 200 that we paid for it, but I'm still being the heart for what we're doing. I just want you to know. I don't think you should not know. I don't think it's fair that you don't know, because either you're not going to come or you're going to come. But I don't want you to worry about to come to give. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. So I want to make sure I point that out to you. Come and get past the ego, because that one moment is going to change for you. Come and get past it, because there's nobody going to ridicule you. I'll never say anything, but I only want you to know so that you can get past that moment. Now, if you don't show up, even I'm telling you to show, whether you have something or not, and I'm not saying it so that you feel bad. I'm saying it for the previous people, the previous situations. That was where I'm camped. But as of the new where we are now, I love you, not to worry. I just want you to know I got you, and this is how we got here. That's what I'm saying. So come as you are, because there's people who are going to help take care of it. I've been blessed now to know this. All right. So I still want you to do. So also on the March the 14th, be my birthday weekend celebration. So come. So I think she'll be down here. And then the week before, the 6th or something, we're going to have our group again, so we can celebrate there too. But between that's March the 10th, which is my birthday. So just know every month that we got 2 things going on. Something for the people who want to just show, and some who want to go deeper, either which way. Okay. And we're covered, but it's a lot of work on our end. Then I got it cleared because I'm not doing anything. I ain't even dating. I'm not doing nothing. So I got it cleared that on Friday nights, if we want to, or Friday nights, we can do movie night in that room, and it's all hours. All I got to do is book it. And I already booked a few dates. We can do movie nights. We can do conspiracy, watching something, talking, bring the kids, whatever. And here is kind of the rooms. As you can see, this is where we'll do our. Now I'm calling dibs on one of those theater seats. They don't have many of those. I'm calling dibs on one. I just want you to know. But in between, so we're going to have a community. We're going to do a community. So we could just come in there and we'll play something. Maybe we chat. Maybe that ain't even a conspiracy conversation. It's just us just sitting there chilling, talking, whatever. Maybe it's a pizza. I don't know. But we're going to do it. It's all open for us to do it. And so now we have things to do. Okay. So between that, just letting you know, and what's the thing about it right now, Brother Joseph must be taught. He said he's doing this thing because people are buying the tickets to the virtual thing, and they're coming from his group. I can see, because I can see the link, and I can show you right now. Ticket purchase, and it's been happening since we've been talking. Ticket purchase. So they're doing it, but like I said, for some of you, I got to figure it out. That may be because I got to do what I got. There's obligations. And it may be $10, maybe $15. I don't know. But if you want to come and watch it there, with us together, then just come. But that one, I will ask for donations for that because there's still some coverage of other stuff that needs to make all that happen. But you're welcome to come and we all sit together, and then you can ask questions that they're not going to be able to do on a webinar because you're going to have a mic and he's going to be able to see us and see you. And so you all can engage in questions too. So we will be able to do that. Okay. I will put up a special price. If you're on a text list, you will get the code to go to the website and do that. That's for those who are going to show up. It will not get you access online. You buy it at that discount rate. Thank you for the donation. If you live in Australia and you ain't coming, don't think it gives you no access. It'll get you in the door when we're live. Okay. And then you can come in and sit. All right. And then after we can still talk, right? We can do whatever. But and now I'm not doing this for the other events because I'm involved in them, but this is virtual. So we're going to be doing it. And so question, will Brother Joseph event be recorded for later? Yes, we're going to record it. I just don't know how we're presented later, but yes, it will be recorded. Yes. And as long as it's not on 20, Tara says on the 25th. I don't know. But I do know I got an email from that person. Tara said, hey, I'm going to meet you at the event and blah, blah, blah. I know who it is, though. I think because if it's the person I think I met, they bought me this about 2 years ago. I never took it off. It may not be that person, but they bought me this in Miami because it was the very first crystal I ever owned. And I have never took it off in the 2.5 years. True story. It's been washed. I have taken it off and recharged it, but I wear it all the time. It's my first jade. So I don't know if it's that person, but I thought. But if it is, don't worry about it. If it is not you, I take it back. But that person said, hey, I'm going to meet you. And I said, well, come up and say hello. No, birthday Aries? Even though I'm a Pisces, I'm an Aries? Really? Really? Oh, but I'm a Pisces. So I don't know enough about all that, but by the time this year is over, I'll know all of that stuff, right? We're going to do that. So, all right. So now let's get back on. Y'all hear when she was talking about. So hopefully you guys will understand the journey we're about to be on. And Dallas, like I say, is lit. It's going to be where we are. And hopefully you get something out of. Maybe you can attend. Some of you don't worry about it. But like I said, we still going to have best of both worlds. And we got a place, and it's a beautiful place. Some of you might have a business. You need an office space or access to some of the same stuff. The big things cost, but some of the other stuff comes with your membership. And so it may be something you want to do. It's in Dallas, right off of, let me show you the picture of the place. I think I put it in here. It's right off of, do I have a picture? I think I did have it. Yeah. So it's called, it's right here by where Red Bear Mall used to be. Okay. So like I said, you can, so it's a nice place. You go in and they will be. All right. So somebody said, not me. All right. Well, cool. All right. So, not brother. Arlington, Texas. All right. So, cool. She gave you Jade. I picked Jade. I walked up to Jade. I didn't know why. I was just drawn to it. Was all these crystals in the room. And I was like, okay, let me walk up to the Jade and blah, blah, blah. All right. So Tara's in Arlington. Thank you. That's not you. All right. So but you did say you were coming to visit, though. It was you who said that you said, hey, I'm going to meet you at the event. And I said, come on up. Make sure you say hello. Am I right? At least let me, because remember, two things can be true at once, right? Two things can be true. But anyway, I somehow chose the Jade. And then when I started digging into it of the healing side of it that was connected to me or whatever, I was drawn to it. So I love Jade. I have it. I don't know why, but if it's bad, then I'm a bad person. But I made it good, though. I made Jade good. I made it good. All right. So anybody understand what we're doing and why, and understand my frustration, but also the reptilian side of that frustration. So now So what I've been working on, and just like she was talking about, remember I talked about the shadow work. So I've been making these little things and sending it over to the person, and they make them for me. And these are going to be at the events, but these what I call understanding the shadow. So that's a different, but they all have different. She said, I did, but I started my cycle and felt crampy, and then the split. Hey, as blunt as you can be, heck yeah. Thank you. And ain't a man on this planet that if you tell them that, you can get out of anything you just about want. I guarantee you. You have what they call a get out of jail free card. You got to get out of jail free card. All right. So this one is about protecting the solar plex. Now, some of you can learn how to paint them. I just doing them in black or have them done in black, but these will be at the events for what I call the shadow work. So you'll have, this one is one of my favorites. This is about what I call, this one is called a silent counselor, listening to the silent, but controlling what you hear. These are all the representations, and you can put this like on your, you can put this like on your altar. It's a 7-piece combo set that I'm making, and they all have symbolic meaning. This one is called core emergence. You know, you emerging the reptilian side of things right there. That one, and that's your solar plex. In other words, saying that you're tapping into what Jesus says, be wise as a serpent. And then, as y'all know, we have this one, and I thank you all who bought one of these. They're now getting shipped out between now and Monday. A few of you, because we only had a few. And this is a beautiful piece representing the all-seeing eye, serpent wisdom, truth versus authority, us seeing, learning, and all of that. So, but I'll have more of these at the event. They'll be in packages of whatever. Also, so the friend who made it let me borrow their machine, so I used it. I sent it back yesterday. Before I did, I made a bunch of stuff. So y'all see this alien head is about 6 inches, and this is another color. I don't like the color. I like the black. So these I'll have different stuff. And then I used up their material before they came and picked up, and I make this one. This is a big one. I don't even know what I'm going to do with this. Somebody may want it. I'll sell it to them or whatever, and they can support us. But it's a real good table thing. This thing is thick, but there you go. So it's the same depiction of this one, but it's bigger. This thing is about 8 inches tall. I don't even know. I don't even want to put on the screen somebody cash out for it, because I don't even know what it costs to ship or anything. But it'll be at the event, so something we can do that. And then they're filament. They're real thick. They're 3D printed is what they are. Even this inky Inanaki. This one I'm just keeping, so it doesn't matter. All right, so let's get back on what we're talking about, because it is Friday and I'm just hanging out to do that. Somebody said it looks like a nightmare. I don't know what the alien. They should be, right? They should be. I know that's fine. What y'all up to? I didn't know there was a show tonight. We wasn't planning on doing a show. I just want to make announcements showing everybody the new location. So if y'all had seen it, go back and watch all of that. And from there. So anyway, that is where we are. Like I said, I'm going to put this email address up here, and I'm going to say it because some of you may be seeing it for the first time. That's the email address. Okay. So it's up there. And the reason it's there, for those of you that last opportunity that said they want to do what I call the $300 donation to us to, now I don't need maybe any, but one thing, maybe twice. So we don't need the many people, but if it is you, and what that will do, I'll give you a special code, and that code is going to give you a 50% access to any and all things, whether it's the VIP, whatever you're doing. And if you're here in Dallas and you come in to see Doc B or Billy or in I'm gonna try to get Dr. Grill. A lot of these people here, it'll save you money instantaneously. All right. But that was just me doing it. But if you're interested, you heard what I said, so I'll get an email. Well, what about this? And then I got a call, in which I will call you because we need to talk, right? But you ought to know. So if that's something you're interested in and you're ready to do it, then you will do it. I thought it'd be just me saying it for the last time because we're push off now. But I knew some of you probably haven't heard this and been here, and you would have done it. And so then if you plan on coming to Dallas, or if it was something, I don't know how it would work for somebody virtual because that's not it. But it will value some of the people who are going to be coming here, seeing some of these people that's coming down here all year long, and more to come. There's fun. Other ones I can't even put out yet. I don't even want to. It'll just get people to pick and choose. Oh, I'm gonna wait for that person. Oh, I'm gonna wait for this person. They'll see them roll out 2 a month as we keep going forward. So we would do that. No, we're not in Arlington anymore. We now have home. So we Arlington was pretty stickler. I couldn't at the time say, hey, that was a storm, this is why we didn't show it, and they didn't have stuff ready. And when they built my card, I lost 6.8 pounds because I didn't eat for 2 days. I couldn't eat. And I was like, is that the way you want to lose weight though? Humor. Okay. But I didn't eat for 2 days. So I was like, whoa, damn it. Or damn it. Humor, but damn it, I didn't eat. So yeah, we're in Dallas. It's in Dallas, right off of Highway 20, Camp Wisdom, right there. And like I said, the place is jazz for what we're trying to do. It is jazz, and a lot of other people there, a lot of networking there. So when word get out within the next 2 weeks that we there and we are marketing all our stuff, we probably sell out before even anybody else does, or even our own people. We're going to get a lot of new people in our community, new serious people too, that maybe can see and do those things. It's all right. Yeah, I know some of y'all don't. I couldn't do anything about it, but I'll try to figure out the way that some of you can watch this stuff later down the road. We got to clip out certain things so you won't get like the full thing for what other people, did. But we are going to figure out a way to tape them. That is a journey to do. So anyway, on that screen is the email address for those if they want to donate. And like I said, if it's not something if you make the contact, then hopefully you're ready to do it, because at this point we just pulling the trigger to do what we're doing, because we just probably need 1 or 2 little more things, 2 things I will say, and then we are jazzed. Yeah. And no more Houston. Why didn't never come down to Houston? I think that Brother Joseph is in Houston. So he's there. We're going to be doing stuff in Houston too. So I didn't come to Houston, but we have always intended where we are in Dallas. So we're in Dallas. There is the text list in the thing of the video. So you're welcome to definitely go there and get on our text list if that's what you choose to do. So that'll help you out. So definitely I would tell you to do that. And from there. All right, so let's keep talking a little bit. So how many of you, when you heard the term "be wise as a serpent," what are your thoughts? Some of you in the chat, just kind of tell me your thoughts when you heard that "be wise as a serpent." Just kind of go with me on that. Cattle. So yeah, somebody kind of tell me what's up on that side of the fence, please. What are your thoughts when it comes to that scenario? If you can tell me. I love that the tickets are 11/11 for this coming. They're not 11/11. That's an optional tip for which event you talking about though, because they won't show 11/11 for. If you're talking about the 20th, but there's 11/11 if you want to do a donation to the speaker or what we're doing. That's just a donation if you read it, Tara, but it's not the ticket. I have not set the tickets for people who are going to come to send in with us yet. I haven't put the coupon and stuff there yet. I would do that. If you're on a text list, I would do that. And what I probably would do, if you're listening, I'll probably do a code. It's going to be like a code, and I'll give you that now, but it's not there for you to purchase. The code is going to be 7007. Let's just say that. So if you go there after tonight, 7007 will be a code, and you'll see it when you go to the Brother Joseph thing, and you go in there. It's going to allow you to buy a ticket, but it won't only show when they're there, but it'll say in-house viewing. I'm just gonna meditate. Should it be 15? Maybe 10, but I would say 15. And then that'll help us, whatever. But if you don't buy a ticket, which is a donation, if you come, I need to know or something or however. But I will say this: if you get there and there's some people, let's say we only have room for 25 people and they all bought a ticket, but 15 other ones show up unannounced and they're going to have to move and let these people sit where they bought a ticket, right? However, I think we have enough for you to show unregistered. You just come, and all of that. So I just got to figure all that part out. But I do want to figure out a way for people at least to register, so I know what we're accounting for. I just don't know. So we would do that. But make sure you're on that text list. Yeah, someone said, I always knew the serpent was knowledge. Yeah. So it is. It's so it's something that, once again, that that's why I go down to reptilian stuff of the books. I think we finally getting them here, and that's why I'm promoted the guide reptilian stuff, because I got a notice, and hopefully I called everybody who ordered theirs and let them know we're talking another week or two here in November. But now I got to make sure I order a lot of them up front so that we can ship them out and get them. But it's the first, what they call order from the publisher of all of those three together. They sent two, but the two little, but not the main big one. So I'm waiting on that so that we could to do that. Is there any other questions? Because now I got a little tired. I was like, I was going to keep talking, but I think I spent a lot of energy complaining, being petty. I wasn't petty. But anyway, just, explaining that stuff. But we can continue to talk a little bit, but hopefully you all got to see. We'll be back here Monday, though, and I'll be here Monday. We'll kind of go deeper into the conversations and everything. And so if that works, that will work. And pretty much, unless it's something y'all want to ask the questions, then I'm going to get out of here. We don't have a lot of people in here because if you come on Mondays and Tuesday, you'll get the alert. But since we stopped doing Fridays, but I'm thinking about doing a 3:00 shows too, like during the day and the night, just kind of seeing, does the algorithm like that too? And then I can do some more during the week and do that. But I will say this though, some of those videos are going into the Patreon, that for sure. So make sure you keep your Patreon membership. So there will be clips of the speaker stuff in the Patreon. Okay. So that's where we're going to put, I had that noted in there, but so they will have access to, parts of those shows and stuff, and I have to break them up, but they'll get access to that in the Patreon. So for those of you, got access to the Patreon, because I think I shut it down so new people can't come in, so we can start adding new content. But if it's still up, if you got access to the Patreon, then the all access, the $26 plan or whatever, then you can go in there and pretty much do that. Okay, so with that being said, I love you. I love each and every one of you. It is Friday, so I got a couple of good books I want to read. Tomorrow, I got a few things that I'm going to do. We're working on a lot of things that we're proud to say. And pretty much from there, I got to actually go to the store. I got to get some juices, another little meal thing that I'm doing with a set. And so that's going to be cool. Actually, I got to call her, but I'd still got a list of other stuff. And so we're going to do that. Yeah, so somebody said 3:00 is good. Cool. Yeah, we're going to change that. And but yeah, so hopefully each and every one of you are good. And like I said, I'll have these come in a set, and I'll have the name and a little explanation of what to do. But I thought these are some of the best little ideas that I had to give them. And so we will have those at the event. And then I'll have some protection amulets that we'll have made for the truth versus authority. Amulet, so we'll be doing that. Somebody said the new Predator movie. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. But there was a time when we used to do Freaky Fridays. I don't know if y'all was back in the day. We would be here 6 sometime I start at 8 and we finish 2, 3, or 4 o'clock in the morning. 8 hours, man. We will be here talking, pumping it up. He said, there is a new text thread. I can reach out to you or ask Roderick about it. What text thread? If they get on the text list, the number's in the description of the video. If they go get in the number or description of the video and get on the text list, they'll be part of that. If that's what you're talking about. Yep. Freaky Friday. Well, you've been around a long time then. Freaky Friday. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. All right, Richard. Appreciate it, man. Love you back. So if you're talking about the text thread, there, like I said, there's a number down in the description of the video. You can get on our text list, and then it'll put you on the text list. So you can do that. So that'll be cool. Yeah. I ain't got all them kids for nothing. I heard that. Do your thing. All right. Y'all get out of here. We'll see y'all Monday and Tuesday and maybe some, y'all know, man, it's been tired. I am tired though. But I got energy too, but I'm tired too. The 800 number, which one? For the Reptilian 800 number? I took that down for a reason. I was getting some real calls that I don't think y'all need to know about. I really was. I took that down. But the 800 number to the text, it's in the description of the video. So if you go to the description of the video, you will see the preferably let me make sure I can tell it to y'all. Let me get into the YouTube thing and see it. Oh crap. Here we go. It's in the it is YouTube Studio, content, live, and let me turn on the stuff here. It is, the number is 888-440-9771. You can type the word Meetup, the keyword Meetup, and it will put you on the text list. 888-440-9771. 888-440-9771, and type the word Meetup. And then so y'all can have that number. Oh, so you got the message. That was great. You know what? I would just want to make sure everybody here locally, because anybody got the text, they would have been in Dallas area, right? Because I wanted people to see what we're doing there, and then we'll just kind of go from there. But anyway, good night, y'all. I'm going home. Yeah.
UFOs. UAPs. Unidentified anomalous phenomena.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Who are they? Where are they from? And what is their intent?
All questions that immediately come to mind with the mention of UFOs. A Pentagon report is detailing a dramatic increase in UFO sightings, more than 350 since 2021. Many of them are explained as being drones, birds, or weather events, but about half of them remain unexplained.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. Oh my gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
This video taken by the Navy showing what he describes as pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the San Diego coast in July of 2019. The Pentagon has since confirmed that the video is authentic.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Late this afternoon, a bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying saucers may soon be solved. Army Air Force officers reported that one of the strange discs had been found and inspected sometime last week. Our correspondents in Los Angeles and Chicago have been in contact with Army officials endeavoring to obtain all possible late information. Joe Wilson reports to us now from Chicago. The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucers. As a matter of fact, the 509th Atomic Bomb Group headquarters at Roswell, New Mexico, reports that it has received one of the discs which landed on a ranch outside Roswell. The disc landed at a ranch at Corona, New Mexico, and the rancher turned it over to the Air Force. Rancher W.W. Brazil is the man who discovered the saucer.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
More people are coming forward with their own sightings.
Videos recorded by U.S. Navy personnel have added a new layer of evidence to the current national debate about UFOs.
Right at that moment, I saw what looked like 5 lights flying in formation in kind of an inverted check mark.
The NASA independent study team did not find any evidence that UAP have an extraterrestrial origin. We don't know what these UAP are.
The mysterious flying objects are still a mystery. NASA will continue investigating them and has appointed a director of UAP research.
Technology that we faced was far superior than anything that we had.
Look at the fly!